can start.
A very beautiful good morning to everyone present here. Let's start this beautiful day with the quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." On this note, I'm Muskan, student coordinator on behalf of Department of Commerce. Humbly welcome our respected Principal Ma'am, Professor Mamta Sharma. Teacher in charge Dr. Rajiv Kaur ma'am, our guest of honor Professor Ruchi Gupta ma'am, faculty members and all the students to a very insightful and enriching session on the topic advertising in digital era trends during COVID. Now I would like to request Dr. Rajiv Kaur ma'am to welcome Principal ma'am. Over to you ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. It's
Good
my
morning,
honor and
Rajiv.
privilege to welcome. It's my honor and privilege to welcome our principal, ma'am, Professor Mamta Sharma, in this webinar on advertising in digital era trends during COVID. She is an alumnus of Miranda House, University of Delhi. She is a PhD in chemistry. Ma'am has successfully completed 5 research projects funded by University of Delhi, UGC and DST. She has more than 45 research publications, 19 conference presentations, and has authored 5 books. Ma'am is a member of various professional bodies. She is a chairperson of various faculty development programs organized by Aditi Mahavidyalaya in association with Mahatma Hansraj Faculty Development Center, UGC, CPDHE in various areas like new education policy, gender sensitization, recent advances in chemical sciences towards green and sustainable environment, e-waste management, higher education for girls, exploring possibilities through traditional and innovative teaching techniques. Ma'am is also felicitated with Academic Excellence Award 2021 by Zee Hindustan. She is also awarded with Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Distinguished Academic Leader Award 2021. She has also received an Icon of the Higher Education Award 2019 by International Development Center Foundation and a Best Principal by International Association of Educators for World Peace in 2018, to name a few. Above all, she has been a guiding force, a motivator, and always encourages us in all our academic endeavors. With these words, I formally welcome Principal Ma'am Professor Mamta Sharma. Now I request Principal Ma'am to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Rajiv. A warm welcome to Professor Ruchi. Today we are having the program on, as I can see, in the current era, the scope of the advertisement. And when we talk about advertisement, COVID has really taught us to revamp this and redesigning the operating model to become more significant. Digital channel overtaken traditional media. In 2019, digital became dominant advertising medium, amounting to 50% of the global advertising spending. In many leading economies like China, UK, US, Australia, Norway, and Canada, digital platform has long surpassed the traditional spending, as we can see from the data available to us. And already the combination of growing share of digital in the market mix and dominance of programmatic advertising within the digital leaves many marketing organizations wondering as to how to have the programmatic ad buying. About 86% of the European marketing organizations have already moved all part to this buying function. Google and Facebook have already about 67% of this market. Today, most digital campaigns cannot happen without these two powerful players. However, large retail players such as Amazon and Alibaba have recently entered the market and are encroaching onto the duopoly territory faster than anticipated. So these things make a very, very interesting subject to study. And I am very hopeful that Dr. Ruchi will cover these aspects of marketing and the digital aspect of it, considering the COVID scenario. So I would really like to listen to her. Please share the recording, Dr. Rajiv, and I'm really looking forward. Congratulations again. Welcome to you, Professor Ruchi. Congratulations to the Department of Commerce, led by Dr. Rajiv Kaur. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Mamta Sharma, for your kind words. Thank you so much.
Muskan.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring words. Now, I request everyone to open their cameras for a group photograph. Thanks, everyone. Now, I would like to request Professor Bhavna Rajput ma'am, Teacher Coordinator of the event and faculty at Department of Commerce, to humbly welcome our resource person for the day. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Muskan. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today's session, Professor Ruchi Gupta. Professor Ruchi Gupta, an alumna of University of Delhi, is currently working as a professor at Shaheed Bhagat Singh College, University of Delhi. She has authored 3 textbooks on advertising and has been an active member of the Textbook Development Board of NCERT. In the year 2005, she was identified by a popular newspaper, The Times of India, as one of the most popular teachers in Delhi University. She is a recipient of ICBM AMP Academic Excellence Award 2017 as a Best Professor in Advertising and has won Best Paper Awards at conferences organized by Mudra Institute of Communication. She has published widely in the journals of national and international repute, such as ABDC, including ABDCA and Scopus. Her recent paper entitled Impact of COVID-19 Crisis on Stocking and Impulse Buying Behavior of Consumers appeared in International Journal of Social Economics, which is listed in WHO COVID-19 repository. Professor Gupta has presented her research papers in the fields of marketing and advertising at many Indian and international forums. She is a member of the editorial team and reviewer board of various journals of international repute, such as Business Perspective and Research, Athens Journals of Business and Economics, Greece, etc. She has been the resource person and keynote speaker of numerous webinars, talks, and conferences on marketing, digital marketing, and advertising. She believes in inculcating and developing analytical and managerial skills in her students and socially sensitizing them towards various sections of the society. With this note now, I would like to invite Professor Ruchi Gupta to the virtual dais to address the assembly. Over to you, Professor Gupta.
Thank you so much, Professor Bhavna, for that introduction. And before I start the presentation, I would like to thank the principal of the college, Professor Mamta Sharma, Dr. Rajiv Kaur, Professor Bhavna, and the student coordinators, Muskan and Indra. Thank you so much for putting together this program and giving me a chance again to come to the college again, this time in the online mode. And I hope that I am able to give you some insights on the topic which we have taken up for today. So I think without much ado, I'll start with the presentation. Let me just share my screen. Just one minute. Is the screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Just 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, please. Can't see it properly over here. Okay, yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm putting it in the slideshow mode. Okay, so we are talking about advertising in the digital era and trends during COVID specifically. So basically, this presentation will be divided into two parts. In the first part, we'll talk about a few things about how advertising is done in the digital era. And in the second part, we'll see that how the various brands, the various marketeers, they use digital advertising in order to reach out to consumers during the COVID times. And still, they are following some of those practices because COVID is not over. So we'll talk about these two parts in this presentation. Before I start, this is a very wide topic and, in 1 hour's time, we can only touch upon a few things. So I thought that I'll just talk about, the platforms and the strategies which are used in the digital era as far as advertising is concerned. So there is much more to it, but I'll be concentrating on a few parts today, which I thought will be of interest to the students. Okay, so before we see what is digital advertising, obviously, I hope all of you understand that it lies within this wide ambit of digital marketing. Now, when we talk of digital marketing, it means that we are using internet and certain online and digital technologies in order to promote our products and services. And very broadly and very quickly, I'll talk about this digital marketing landscape because some of these things are very much relevant in case of digital advertising as well. So when I talk about digital marketing landscape, there are a few things which become very important here. One thing is your digital devices, that is your computers, your mobile phones and tablets through which we receive the promotional content. That's a digital device. You need to have a digital device with you. Then we talk of a digital platform. अब आपके पास एक डिजिटल मार्केटिंग का कोई मैसेज आएगा या कोई एडवर्टाइजमेंट आएगा, so it has to come through some platform. So you are going to see the ad, for example, either on some website or on some social media platforms or on some mobile apps or in your emails. So there is a digital platform which is required. Then we talk of a digital media. Now this is a digitized content. It is basically your ad. Digital media is basically your ad, which you can, write as a text. Simple text. It could be an audio message or an audio ad. It can be a video ad, and it could also be certain graphics that you are using. Then there is some digital data which is also there. Binary digits hota hai, zeros and ones. Computer programmers ke liye ye relevant hai. So when we are talking of digital marketing and digital advertising, this is not of much concern to us because this is something that the programmers are going to do with the binary numbers. And then we have digital technology. So digital technology like augmented reality, like your virtual reality, your artificial intelligence, and many more, they are becoming very relevant, in today's state when we are talking about digital marketing. So I generally talk in depth about these technologies when I talk about digital marketing. हम digital advertising में basically आज थोड़ा अपना जो प्लेटफॉर्म्स और स्ट्रैटेजीज के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो जो फर्स्ट 3 पॉइंट्स हैं यहाँ पे, these 3 are relevant when we are talking of our digital advertising. That is, you need to have a digital device. You are going to see the ad either on a computer, on a mobile phone or tablets. Basically, a digital device is something that you need. Then there is going to be a digital platform. आप वेबसाइट पे ऐड देखोगे या सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे या मोबाइल एप्स में, ईमेल्स में, एंड देन देयर इज द एड इटसेल्फ व्हिच इज द डिजिटल मीडिया. So now when I talk about this digital advertising, what is digital advertising? It is simply promoting your goods and services with the help of some promotional content on which you are giving on a digital platform. अब ये digital platforms क्या क्या है ये हम डिस्कस करेंगे अभी डेप्थ में. So I talked about these three components, that you need a digital device, there is a digital platform, and then there is a digital ad. So we'll see that what all strategies can be used to design those ads, and how effectively you can use the digital platforms and the various digital platforms. Now, before that, a very quick look at this thing. All of us know what is the difference between digital advertising and traditional advertising. So traditional advertising का जो component है, जहाँ पे हम newspapers की बात करते हैं, radios हैं, your cinema advertising, outdoor advertising, billboards and all, even your direct mail advertising. So that is your traditional form of advertising. So digital advertising will talk more about all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even LinkedIn, YouTube, Google searches that you do, the company websites that you see, your mobile phone. It's very important because it has all these social media platforms and it has the mobile apps also. So all these digital platforms we'll be seeing in the slides to come. Okay. And before we look at these platforms and the strategies, one thing that we need to remember is that digital advertising is a very powerful tool in today's date, which is available to a marketer. Why? Because it uses a visual content. अब ये सारे benefits जो मैंने यहाँ पे लिखे हुए हैं, maybe I won't be able to explain each and every benefit over here, but we are...
Sorry, Professor Ruchi, sorry to interrupt, but I think slides are not moving.
Slides are not moving?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm having an internet problem, but on my screen, slides are not moving. Others should also give response.
Yes, Neetu, it's not moving.
It's not moving. Should I try sharing it again and then doing it? 1 minute. Because if my slides are not moving, then, there's no use of... Okay, so I'm sharing this window. So you can see the slide here. I'm going now to the slideshow mode. Can you see this digital marketing slide?
No. What is visible is the first slide, advertising in the digital era. And now please move to second slide, then I can let you know whether the slides are moving or not. Yeah, now these are moving.
So the slideshow mode is not working.
Now we can see the second slide.
Let me just try doing it this way. Instead of this, let me just try sharing the screen. Okay, so I'll just do one more attempt, because if I have to show it like this, then maybe, some of the things won't be as clear. It's not letting me share the entire screen also. Let me try doing a tab. No. I think the only thing it's letting me share is the window. And you're seeing only this. I'm just hoping that the slides also.
I think it's okay. We can see the second slide. You can do it in manual way.
Okay. Is this digital advertising slide visible now? Or are you still seeing the digital marketing slide?
You're seeing the second one, digital marketing.
Okay. I think then I'll have to do it this way then.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it this way then. Some of my effects and animations might not work, which I will not like actually. But okay, so I think if there is some particular slide which requires a proper look, then I'll just probably share that one in the full mode. Okay, so this digital marketing, as I was telling, is about digital devices, digital platform, and digital media, which is common to digital advertising as well. and we were just talking about the differences between the traditional and digital advertising. Okay, now when I talk about this benefits of digital advertising, now we talk about various benefits. And a very important benefit is that there is a visual content that you can see in digital advertising, because most of the ads that you are designing will have either some picture or some videos. And, this visual content, has many advantages, as you can see in this particular picture, which is presented over here. Not talking about each and every figure, but just quickly, if you look at this particular arrow which has just come, the photos, illustrations, and videos get over 100% more engagement from customers. And this is possible only in digital advertising. Also, if you look at the second arrow, visuals get 94% more views than the text-based promotions. So if you're just writing the text, it might not catch the attention of the viewers, but otherwise, if you're using some visuals in digital advertising, which generally the case is, you get more number of views. Okay, now what we are going to talk about in the first part is advertising in the digital era. I'm not going to talk about the figures, and obviously we know that the figures are growing and the digital medium is definitely on the increase. But we are going to talk about the platforms and the strategies in the first part. So कौन से ऐसे platforms हैं जहाँ पे advertisers जो हैं advertise कर सकते हैं. So on what all platforms do we see brand communications taking place in the form of advertisements? So in the platforms, we'll talk about advertising on various portals. Then we talk about advertising on the company's own websites and social media pages. We'll talk about social media advertising. We'll talk about the mobile apps, emails, and advert games. So we are now starting from the next slide. We are going to talk about how these platforms are being used by different brands for digital advertising. And then we will talk about specific strategies, which is also the part of the first part of the presentation. So we'll talk about the brand endorsements, shoppable posts, social media stories, users generated content, and interactive advertising. Okay, now taking one by one. So when I talk about digital platforms, as I said that you could be advertising on various portals. So if you have a look at this particular economictimes.com website, ये website का screenshot है. ये arrow जो आया है. Do you see that there is an ad for Lenovo? Then there is another arrow over here. Now, this is an ad for something that ET, that is Economic Times itself is sponsoring. So ET का अपना कुछ एक venture है, उन्होंने खुद अपने website पे उसको advertise करा है on your own website. And then there are other ads also which are running on this particular platform. Over here, we see an ad for Lenovo. So various portals, for example, now in the next one, you see that indiatimes.com also has this phone pay app जो है उसका ad यहाँ पे आपको portal पे दिख रहा है. So this is one kind of platform which is used by the brands in order to advertise their products, their services to people. And some popular portals are chosen where they feel that their target audience might be, watching these websites, and therefore this ad would reach out to them. Another type of portal is your, the company's own websites and social media pages. ये Pepsi का ad सब बच्चों ने देखा होगा, भी recently अभी आया है सलमान खान का. So, when I talk about, Pepsi running its own campaigns on its own social media platforms, so जो Pepsi का Facebook page है, Instagram page है, वहाँ पे वो अपने latest ads भी डालते हैं. So, and this is an Instagram ad. As you can make out, I think most of the students are on Instagram. So from the format itself, you can make out that it's taken from Instagram. These are own companies' own websites or their own social media pages where they put the ads for their own products. And similarly, you can see for Snapdeal also over here. Okay. Next kind of a platform, which is a very majorly used platform in case of digital advertising, is your social media platforms. And in that context, we talk about social media advertising on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. Just showing you some examples over here so that we understand. Now, there is this new series which has come out on Woot recently, right? So there is a sponsored ad which is running on Facebook. Now, the sponsored ad is likely to catch the attention if you just have a look at the figures which are given towards the end. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just get my stylus. Just 1 second. Since the screen is not moving properly, so I'll just mark certain things over here. So if you have a look at this figure, 5.4K, that is the amount of people who have liked this, right? So when we talk of, digital advertising, one thing is that you get this feedback. How many people are liking the content? What comments are they making? Shares bhi hai, right? So this is one of the advantages. LinkedIn. अब LinkedIn पे कैसी चीज का ad होना चाहिए? It is not Pepsi or something, because LinkedIn is the professional network that you're talking about. So there is an ad of LG interactive digital boards which are meant for the meeting rooms of directors and managers. So some such products which are relevant to managers, to professionals, these ads are run on LinkedIn. Instagram, have a look at this. Again, if you have a look at this thing, it's a sponsored post. Sponsored post means that it is being run on Instagram. एक benefit जो वहाँ पे मैंने उस slide पे नहीं लिया था of digital marketing is that you can do targeted advertising in digital marketing. That means Instagram पे मुझे पता है कि अगर कोई user है जिसका age group, for example, 18 years to 25 years या 30 years है, then I can probably push my ad, this ad, which is about an e-learning platform, towards that particular person. So my sponsored ad, which is meant for an which is an e-learning platform, that's a brand that I'm trying to push. So that would be seen only by the target audience, and it is not wasted on others. So that targeted advertising is possible in case of digital advertising. It is possible in case of Facebook. It is possible in case of YouTube. And whatever sponsored ads that I am seeing on my Facebook might be very much different from the sponsored ads that the college students are seeing on the Facebook account, because the age group is very different. Sometimes the gender group makes a lot of difference. So I might be seeing an ad for female cosmetics, which the boys might not be seeing on the Facebook account. So this kind of selection of your target audience is possible when we are talking about digital advertising. Again, you can have a look at some numbers over here. And also, you can have a look at the comments that the people are making. Okay, now, next thing, not only these, you also have ads on YouTube and Twitter. So YouTube में बहुत common एक चीज है, यहाँ पे अभी बहुत clearly नहीं दिख रहा है, but this is video will play after the ad. So this is what you generally see in YouTube when an ad is playing in between the video. And Twitter also is being used, for example, when we talk of brand communications and advertising. In fact, this Nissan Terrano car was actually launched on Twitter through a contest. So Twitter also has its own digital advertising debt. Okay, so this is about the various platforms as far as the social media platforms are concerned. उसके अलावा mobile apps पे भी हम ads देखते हैं. This is also one platform where the brands are trying to reach us. So the first one that you are seeing over here is an ad, which is for Byju's. And this ad, ये आ कहाँ पे रहा है? ये Wink music app है. उस पे ये वाला ad आ रहा है. Now, let me just share with you, certain brands like Byju's, or in fact, even your news app like InShorts. When they were launching their brands, the first thought that they need to, have in their mind is कि मेरा target audience कहाँ बैठा है? आपका Byju's जो है online app है, news app like InShorts आपका mobile app है. So जितने लोग mobile apps use कर रहे हैं, online या digital platforms use कर रहे हैं, वो आपका target audience है. So Byju's ने बहुत सारे traditional और digital medium को use करा in order to reach out to customers. This one was Wink Music. But when I talk about news app like InShorts, they did advertising only on digital medium, and they started their doing their ad. One of the platforms was this Wink Music only, where they were first playing their ads of InShorts, and in some time this news app InShorts became very popular. COVID के time पे वो न्यूज ऐप और ज्यादा पॉपुलर हो गया था. सो इट्स द सेम इन शॉर्ट्स का जो सेकंड ऐड आप देख रहे हो. सो सैमसंग एड ऑन इन शॉर्ट्स जो आप ये देख रहे हो. सो इन शॉर्ट्स पे भी बहुत सारे एड्स हैं. न्यूज तो आप पढ़ते ही हो, लेकिन हर 4-5 न्यूज आइटम्स के बाद एक एड भी होता है. दैट इज ए रेवेन्यू मॉडल कि वो एड भी देते हैं. सो दिस इज अ पर्सन हु इज रीडिंग द न्यूज ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर मोबाइल ऐप विल गेट टू सी द एड्स व्हिच आर रनिंग ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर मोबाइल ऐप. And then there's certain other grocery apps. For example, I've taken one of the apps over here, Milk Basket. It is one of the grocery apps which is being used in many states in India. So they do their own ads also. This one that you are seeing is, an ad which is talking about a heist. Money Heist एक बहुत popular Netflix का series है, सारे बच्चों को पता होगा. So taking inspiration from there, they have drawn this content and running its promotion for its own goods and talking about what all benefits are available. So it is not always that you are doing promotions of other brands. You might be doing promotions of your own things, own promotions that you're running. So that also could be one of the ways of promoting. Then again, when we talk of platforms, there are other mobile apps. I'll just quickly tell you, this one is the Facebook messaging app. Messenger जो है उस पे Lenskart का ad आप देख रहे हैं, and Blinkit का ad in shorts पे. Just when Blinkit Grofers became Blinkits, and we were talking about the 10 minutes delivery. So that was, one of the apps which was largely actually showing it big time was in shorts, which is a popular news app. Then another type of platform is your emails. So if you can just see over here, this email advertising, बहुत बार इसको हम junk mail मानते हैं, हम खोल के भी नहीं देखते हैं. That is one of the disadvantages over here, but this is also one of the digital advertising techniques which is used by the advertisers. So the various ads that you can see here are of PNB MetLife, Flipkart, and there is a apparel app which is called as LimeRoad. Have a look at this thing. Go Crazy Ruchi. ये मेरे इनबॉक्स में आया हुआ है, क्योंकि मैंने कभी किसी टाइम पे ये एड यूज करा था, तो उनके पास मेरा डेटा है एंड वो ईमेल के थ्रू मेरे पास पर्सनलाइज्ड नेम से आया है. सो ये पर्सनलाइज्ड नेम क्या होता है, कैसे होता है, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस थिंग इन डिटेल टुडे, बट जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है, इट इज बीइंग एम्बेडेड इन अ लॉट ऑफ सिस्टम्स, ताकि एक एड अगर मैं थ्रो कर रही हूँ किसी पे, तो उस पर्सन के पास वो पर्सनलाइज्ड एड जाए, ताकि एक पर्सनलाइज्ड अपील हो आपके एडवर्टाइजमेंट में. सो छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, लेकिन ये आपके डिजिटल एडवर्टाइजिंग में बहुत हेल्प करती है. एंड देन वन मोर टाइप ऑफ प्लेटफॉर्म इज योर एडवर्ट गेम्स. व्हाट आर दीज एडवर्ट गेम्स? इट इज जस्ट लाइक योर मोबाइल ऐप विच इज डिजाइंड, जिसको आप डाउनलोड करते हो और फिर आप एक गेम प्ले करते हो. सो ये जो फर्स्ट वाला पेप्सी का आपको ये गेम दिख रहा है, इट्स अ गेम विच वॉज डिजाइन्ड बाय पेप्सी. And the twist in the game was that it was actually a football game, जहाँ पे महेंद्र सिंह धोनी एक क्रिकेट बैट को लेके फुटबॉल गोल को डिफेंड कर रहा था. So every time people downloaded the game and they played the game, Pepsi का जो बीच में promotions हैं, because there was a lot of visibility of Pepsi logos, Pepsi cold drinks and all inside the game, which people were seeing, and therefore it is one of the ways of reminding the people about your brand. Now, another thing is that it is not just the brands who are using it. For example, this is the Pepsi game that I just talked about. A lot of banks are also using it. ICICI Bank, for example, they designed a game in which people could download the game and they could play the game in order to understand कि अपना investment उनको कैसे करना चाहिए, so that they can maximize the return. So when they play a game, they will know that, okay, if I invest my amount in, these 1, 2, 3 categories, and this is the return that I'm getting. Okay, then, if this is not the strategy, let me use the strategy. So they were playing games to understand that how best possible investments they could make in order to maximize the returns which they are getting. And if we go by Philip Kotler's definition of what is a product, he says that anything that can be marketed is a product. तो एक बॉलीवुड मूवी भी जो है वो क्या है, वो एक प्रोडक्ट है और उसकी भी एडवर्टाइजिंग होनी चाहिए और उसका भी एडवर्ट गेम बन सकता है. So I don't know how many of you have seen, but there have been many advert games or the games which have been designed on the storylines of certain movies, very popular movies, and people actually download the games and play them. Every time they play the game, for example, in this case, Chennai Express. So the movie gets promoted. The product gets promoted. So that is another example is Bajrangi Bhaijaan. And this is another example, Happy New Year, which was a Shahrukh Khan movie and it was based on the concept of a diamond robbery. तो जो advert game है वो भी same concept पे बना था और जो characters के names थे इस game में वो भी same names थे. For example, Charlie for Shahrukh Khan and Moini for Deepika Padukone. So every time the user plays the game, it's promoting the product, that is the movie. So this is an understanding of what all platforms can be used. ये सारे platforms के through हम advertisements कर सकते हैं. Now talking about certain strategies. Now when I talk about strategies, one of the strategies is endorsement by the mainstream celebrities and social media influencers. Endorsement is one of the major areas of advertising, and with the coming of digital advertising, a lot has changed in this field. So earlier when I was, for example, signing Virat Kohli for some ad and that ad was being played on television, वो आज की डेट में भी होता है, लेकिन अब क्या हो गया है, now people are having their accounts on Instagram, on Facebook, and it is possible to reach out to people through these popular platforms. As we just talked about the platforms, Instagram for example is a very popular platform, and especially it is one of the platforms which is very popular in the youngsters. So if your target audience is the young population, by young population we also include 30 and 35 and 40 years old people over here, but majorly we are talking about 15 years to 30-35 years age group. So that is the age group which is mainly using Instagram, and now these days they are using more of Instagram rather than Facebook. So now with the coming of digital advertising, a lot has changed in the field of endorsement. So just to share one figure with you, now if I sign Virat Kohli for one ad and I want him to put this ad on his Instagram account, this was the figure that I could find out from July 2019 Economic Times में, for putting one Instagram post on his Instagram account, he will charge you rupees 1.3 crore per post. That's the amount, the heavy amount that you're paying. But ये latest figure नहीं है. Latest figure I remember that I had read that was somewhere in 2021 was 3-point-something crores for Virat Kohli. I could not find the authentic source of that, so I have not mentioned it over here. But the latest figure is more than 3 crores for one Instagram post. So that is what has started happening. अब इतना high cost क्यों देगा कोई? Okay, पहले तो ये देखते हैं paid partnership with Puma India, which tells you that this is an ad. Paid partnership simply means it's an ad which is running. It is not something that Virat Kohli is posting on his personal account. It is something which Puma India has, has a paid partnership with this particular company. Now have a look at this this arrow. More than 26 lakh likes. Now these likes, ये सिर्फ likes है अभी, जिन्होंने देखा होगा वो नंबर इससे ज्यादा होगा, जितने लोगों ने like किया वो ये है. Now अब इतना high amount देना work करता है नहीं, ये अलग एक बिल्कुल फील्ड है डिजिटल एडवर्टाइजिंग का, जहाँ पे मीट्रिक्स वर्क करते हैं कि हम कैलकुलेशन करते हैं कि अगर हमने विराट कोहली को 3 करोड़ रुपीस दिए हैं और हमारे पास इतने लाइक्स आ रहे हैं, इनमें से कितने लोग कन्वर्ट होंगे और हमारा प्रॉफिट मार्जिन फिर क्या निकलेगा. अगर वो प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कैलकुलेट होके 3 करोड़ रुपीस के ऊपर निकलता है तो हम 3 करोड़ रुपीस देके विराट कोहली को फिर भी साइन करते हैं. सो देयर इज अ वे ऑफ डूइंग इट व्हिच आई कांट एक्सप्लेन राइट नाउ बिकॉज थोड़ा वो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है और इस टॉपिक से थोड़ा सा अलग है. बट येस, कंपनीज डू द कैलकुलेशन ऑफ मीट्रिक्स एंड ट्रस्ट मी दैट दे आर एबल टू कन्वर्ट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल व्हेन ऑल दीज पीपल आर सीइंग विराट कोहली. Because these are the people who want to follow him, and these are the youngsters basically who are inspired by the things that he uses. Now have a look at this one. This is a video ad जिसका मैंने स्क्रीनशॉट लिया हुआ है. वीडियो एड जब भी होता है, ओके, सो एक तो ये पेड पार्टनरशिप लिखा ही हुआ है, नंबर ऑफ व्यूज आपको दिखते हैं, लाइक्स नहीं दिखते, व्यूज दिखते हैं. सो दिस इज वेयर वी कैन ट्रैक कि कितने व्यूज हो गए हमारे एड के. और जो वीडियो एड्स होते हैं उनके जनरली व्यूज जो हैं वो ज्यादा होते हैं एज कंपेयर टू द अदर एड्स. नाउ दिस इज वन ऑफ द एड्स फॉर अनअकैडमी व्हिच एक्चुअली केम आउट ड्यूरिंग द कोविड टाइम. So again, you can see paid partnership with Unacademy, and you can see that there are more than 17 lakh likes for this particular ad. So all the people who are following Virat Kohli on Instagram, whether they are liking this ad or not liking this ad, they have seen it. Why? Because they are following a celebrity for a particular reason. They like to follow him. They like to see what he is putting on Instagram. So television wala ad agar miss ho bhi gaya hai, लेकिन यू नो बिकॉज इट इज कमिंग ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम, आईपीएल के किसी मैच के बीच में आया, आपने ऐड नहीं देखा. लेकिन डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे जब मैं जाऊंगी, जब भी मैं अपना इंस्टाग्राम ओपन करूंगी, सो विराट कोहली का जो भी पोस्ट मैंने नहीं देखा क्योंकि मैं उसको फॉलो कर रही हूँ, तो वो पोस्ट ऑटोमेटिकली मेरे फीड में अपीयर होगा. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द एडवांटेजेस दैट वी गेट व्हेन वी आर साइनिंग सेलिब्रिटीज, द मेन स्ट्रीम सेलिब्रिटीज, and they are putting their ads on their own social media handles. This is another example which I'll just talk about very quickly क्योंकि मैंने कुछ चीजें explain कर दी हैं last slide में. This is Shahrukh Khan, again a mainstream celebrity, and as you can see with the help of arrows, he is posting on his own social media handles. IMSRK इसका social media handle है ये. Instagram है, ये दोनों. Facebook पे भी post होते हैं. So ads for Big Basket है, क्रेटा का एड है, एंड बिकॉज ही इज ऑल्सो द ब्रांड एम्बेसडर फॉर दुबई टूरिज्म, सो ही ऑल्सो कीप्स पुटिंग दुबई टूरिज्म के बहुत सारे एड्स अपने सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स पे. सो दिस इज अबाउट द मेन स्ट्रीम सेलिब्रिटीज. अब आ जाते हैं इन्फ्लुएंसर्स पे. नाउ इन्फ्लुएंसर्स में एक कैटेगरी जो है वो उन लोगों की है जो बिल्कुल मेन स्ट्रीम सेलिब्रिटीज नहीं है. इनफैक्ट जो मेन स्ट्रीम सेलिब्रिटीज है उनको भी हम सेलिब्रिटी इन्फ्लुएंसर्स बोलते हैं. So it is not that influencer word is only used for a social media influencer. Celebrity influencer term is also used. Now over here, this is one type of influencer when I talk about this Chef Kunal. Okay, so he's a popular chef. And when I want to use this particular influencer, you know, then I will be choosing him for the brands which will have a good fit with him. For example, kitchen appliances. या आप जो थर्ड वाला एड देख रहे हो हल्दीराम, सो ये किचन अप्लायंसेस और हल्दीराम वाला एड अगर एक शेफ कर रहा है तो उसके साथ वो राइट फिट है, राइट. और अगर मैं बोल रही हूँ कि प्यूमा शूज एंड एपरल्स एंड डियोस का एड विराट कोहली कर रहा है तो उसके लिए वो फिट है. अगर मैं वो प्यूमा शूज का एड यहाँ पे शेफ कुणाल के पास ले आऊं, यू नो, देन प्रोबेबली द फिट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट एंड द दैट इज द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द ब्रांड and the celebrity or the influencer, that fit will not be there. So one has to choose very carefully कि आप कौन सा influencer या celebrity choose कर रहे हो अपने particular endorsement के लिए. Again, this is going to show you a few more examples about the influencers who are used. The first one over here is a beauty influencer. And these are proper social media influencers now. Now, some people are of the opinion that social media influencers would be used only when, you know, हमारे पास इतने पैसे नहीं होते हैं कि हम mainstream celebrity को इतना पैसा दें. So one of the advantages of social media advertising, in terms of using social media influencers, is that yes, they come at a lower cost, but that does not mean in any case कि सिर्फ वो ब्रांड्स ही सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर्स यूज करते हैं जिनके पास कम बजट है. सो इफ यू हैव अ लुक एट दिस पर्टिकुलर एड, दिस इज एन एड फॉर द HDFC बैंक क्रेडिट कार्ड. हैव अ लुक एट दिस वन. शी इज ऑल्सो ब्यूटी इन्फ्लुएंसर, आशना मलानी, and she is here endorsing a product of L'Oreal, big brands. Bhuvan Ban, popular YouTuber, he was signed for Lenskart. In fact, there's a very interesting thing, you know, आजकल social media influencers के awards होते हैं Cannes Film Festival में. So Cannes Film Festival is something that we always know कि जहाँ पे हमारे, you know, Hollywood and Bollywood के celebrities, you know, बहुत different dresses पहन के जाते हैं. But वही Cannes में अब popular influencers के awards शुरू हो गए हैं. And this Bhuvan Ban, who's a popular YouTuber from India, he has actually won an award for one of the most popular social media influencers at a international level, and that too of Cannes Festival. So that is, the kind of popularity that these people have these days. And then same influencer, but this is in the form of his Instagram reel. Instagram reel बना के and आप Dove का एक product को आप promote कर रहे हो. So it is in the form of a video which your followers will see. They can see how you're using the product, how your skin has become better, or how your hair is becoming better. So whatever the product is, and that reel also is something that can leave a lasting impression on the followers. And youngsters these days are following big time a lot of influencers. So I'm sure the students over here, maybe after the session, you can tell me that there would be so many influencers that you are following probably on Instagram. And someone could be a travel influencer, somebody could be a food blogger, somebody could be a fashionista, somebody could be a beauty influencer, technical influencer. So all these influencers do have an impact on the followers, and and they are being used for promotion of various products. Okay, now this another strategy. One was the endorsement strategy, जिसमें हम mainstream celebrities, social media influencers को use करते हैं. Another strategy is to use shoppable post. Now, what is a shoppable post? I'll just try to explain you through some examples here. Now, when I am running an ad, for example, on Facebook for this particular brand, Hometown, जहाँ पे furniture मिलता है, beddings मिलती हैं, various home products. Have a look at this. Shop now. ये जो शॉप नाउ ऑप्शन है, जैसे ही आप इधर क्लिक करोगे, आप इस पर्टिकुलर होम टाउन के वेबसाइट पे पहुंच जाओगे और इसी प्रोडक्ट का होम टाउन में इसी प्रोडक्ट का पेज आपको दिखेगा. सो इफ यू थिंक ऑन सीइंग दिस एड दैट यस दिस इज वन सोफा व्हिच अपील्स टू मी एंड व्हिच आई वांट टू बाय राइट नाउ, तो ये नहीं है कि आपको एक अपनी पूरी विजिट प्लान करनी पड़ेगी कि ठीक है मैं दिमाग में रखती हूँ और जब मैं इस शॉप पे जाऊंगी तब मैं खरीद लूंगी. तो वो चीज क्या होता है, वो इट कैन लीड टू अ कस्टमर हु इज लॉस्ट. व्हाई? बिकॉज उसने कस्टमर ने एड देखा, एक दिन तक शायद याद भी रहा, दूसरे दिन भूल गए और उसके बाद वो प्रोडक्ट कभी परचेज ही नहीं हुआ. So now with the help of digital advertising, what you can do is you can actually drive the traffic to your product pages. And by reducing the number of steps in the customer actually reaching the store, because आप यहाँ से जैसे डायरेक्टली क्लिक करोगे आप स्टोर का वेबसाइट पे पहुंचोगे, so you have reduced the sales funnel, the number of steps which are involved in making the sale. You have reduced that sales funnel. So another example over here, when I talk of an Instagram ad by Myntra, for example, have a look at this arrow, shop now. जैसे आप इधर क्लिक करोगे, you are actually diverted to the Myntra website and you can actually shop this thing over here. Now, another thing is that when I'm talking about the shoppable post, this is another kind of ads that you see in case of shoppable post. तो आपने एक ad देखा Instagram पे जिसमें प्रोडक्ट पे ऑलरेडी टैग लगा हुआ है. ये टैग जो लगा हुआ है इस पे इस प्रोडक्ट का नेम लिखा हुआ है और प्राइस भी लिखा हुआ है. So you don't have to even go to the website to check what is the price. The price is already mentioned. As soon as I press the tag over here, I will go to the website. Now, how this actually works, I'm going to show you with the help of this moving figure over here. तो अब ये फिगर जो आ रही है ये मूव होगी. इसके अंदर सबसे पहला जो फिगर आप देखोगे वो एक शॉपेबल पोस्ट होगा और उसको क्लिक करते ही हम कैसे कंपनी पेज पे पहुंच के प्रोडक्ट का पेमेंट करके चीज खरीद सकते हैं वो देखेंगे. सो प्लीज हैव अ लुक एट दिस पिक्चर नाउ. ये प्रोडक्ट है, क्लिक करा, यहां पहुंच गए, पेमेंट करी, बॉट. This is the product, click, company website, payment made. So when you have such a smooth kind of a thing happening, in case of digital advertising, तो आपका sales funnel तो इतना reduce हो गया, people don't even have to wait to go to the shop. It is so easy now, right? One last thing, again, to explain this shoppable post, again, one more example, one more type of an example. So this is also a shoppable post. Social media influencer, Shehnaz Gill है, Big Boss contestant थी. So a lot of endorsements she is doing now for different brands. So now she is holding a phone और उस पे tag लगा हुआ है Oppo Mobile India का. As soon as you click on this, ये click करते ही ये वाला tag ये open होता है. आप यहाँ पे जाते हो और फिर आप अपना purchase भी कर सकते हो and you can also actually see what other products Oppo is offering. So it is up to the company कि आपने कस्टमर को कहाँ डाइवर्ट करना है. तो यहाँ पे क्लिक करते ही कस्टमर जो है किस पेज पे जाएगा, उसी प्रोडक्ट के पेज पे जाएगा. यहाँ पे वो प्रोडक्ट विजिबल नहीं है तो आप उसको जनरली ओप्पो के पेज पे लेके जहाँ पे वो और ऑप्शंस भी देख सकता है. सो दिस शॉपेबल पोस्ट आर एक्चुअली हेल्पफुल अ लॉट इन डिजिटल एडवर्टाइजिंग, एंड दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द एड. It is not something which is separate. It is designed as a part of the ad. Next is your social media stories. Now, social media stories is something which all of us know. सबसे पहले स्नैपचैट से शुरू हुआ था, उसके बाद फेसबुक में हम लोगों ने यूज करना शुरू करा. अपनी जो स्टोरीज हैं इंस्टाग्राम पे होती हैं और व्हाट्सएप पे स्टेटस होता है. बट जो सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं वहां पे हमारी ये सोशल मीडिया स्टोरीज होती हैं. तो अब इनका क्या यूज है? जो ब्रांड्स हैं इन्होंने एक ये पोल रन करा कि इन दोनों में से आप किसको चूज करोगे, सनराइज एट मुन्नार या सनसेट एट वर्कला. आप ये टच स्क्रीन फोन को अगर सिर्फ टच करोगे तो आपका वोट कास्ट हो गया. अगर मैं सनराइज एट मुन्नार को क्लिक करूंगी मेरा वोट वहां चला जाएगा. अगर मैं सनसेट एट वर्कला को टच करूंगी तो मेरा वोट वहां पे चला गया. तो मैं इस कंटेंट के साथ इंटरैक्ट कर पा रही हूँ. देयर आर अदर वेज ऑफ इंटरैक्टिंग विद द कंटेंट. ये एक ब्रांड है होम ब्लिस जो होम डेकोरेशन के बारे में ज्यादा बात करता है. सो नाउ इट इज रनिंग अ काइंड ऑफ अ कॉन्टेस्ट कि ये जो सोफा इसके साथ बेस्ट कुशन कौन सा सूट करता है, कमेंट बॉक्स में लिखो. तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 सूट करता है या क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 सूट करता है, एंड देन देयर वाज 3 and 4 आल्सो. एंड द कस्टमर्स देन गिव देयर ओन कमेंट्स कि मेरे हिसाब से 1 अच्छा है या 2 अच्छा है. सो दिस इज नथिंग, दिस इज नॉट गिविंग एनीथिंग टू द ब्रांड, बट इट इज कीपिंग द कस्टमर्स एंगेज्ड. द कस्टमर्स फील कनेक्टेड टू, आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग विद द ब्रांड. So the home bliss brand is not tied by what the customer is saying कि मुझे यही वाला क्वेश्चन लगाना पड़ेगा, but they have generated that excitement in the customers. So there are various such strategies that the brands use. Now ये सारी strategies को अब advertisers ने कैसे use करा है during the COVID time? Let us talk about that. Now, when we talk about advertising trends during COVID, we take a broad framework which has been suggested by Ogilvy. This came out during the time of COVID only. Ogilvy is a very old and very popular advertising agency which has designed a lot of advertising campaigns. So at the time of COVID, what they had suggested were these 3 points that you are seeing on your right-hand side box. First is, in your brand communication, in your advertisements, you have to tell people how you are helping fight the coronavirus itself. As a brand, आप क्या कर रहे हो coronavirus को fight करने के लिए? Second is how you are helping other businesses and people. So what are you doing during the COVID to help other people and other businesses? And third is, are you providing critical information to people which they need during the crisis situation? So these 3 major points, इनको हम देखते हैं कि brands ने कैसे use करा, and we will talk about not only these 3 points, a couple of other points which actually were used by the brands at the time of COVID. So when I say about the first point, कि how is the brand helping fight the coronavirus? So I've taken one example here, which is basically a food and beverage industry. So how are the brands fighting the coronavirus? If I talk about food and beverage industry, have a look at the communications that the brand is making. क्या बोल रहा है brand अपने ad में? McDonald's बोल रहा है the only hands touching your food are yours. Pizza Hut is saying we wash and sanitize our hands every 30 minutes for 20 seconds. And Domino's is also talking about all the safety and precautions that it is taking. Now, what is this thing doing basically? This type of communication, content है ये, क्या content आप design कर रहे हो? This kind of a content is actually giving an assurance to the consumers that the food that they are consuming is safe, right? एंड इसी के साथ कॉन्टैक्टलेस डिलीवरी और वो सब चीजों की भी बात करी थी फूड एंड बेवरेज इंडस्ट्री ने स्पेसिफिकली. बट दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ अ कंटेंट व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू टेल द कंज्यूमर दैट ओके दिस इज हाउ वी आर keeping your food safe. This is how we are fighting the coronavirus from our end. Then second point, what we said was that you should also try and communicate to the customers that how are brands helping the community. Have a look at this Harvest Gold ka jo communication. And now this is a ad which they were running on Facebook. So they were basically showing to people that we are helping the community because they were distributing free bread and buns to those people who were in need. So basically जो ब्रेकफास्ट टाइम पे जो ब्रेड्स एंड बन्स जो है उन्होंने फ्री डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करा बहुत सारे नीडी लोगों को. सो व्हाट आर यू डूइंग as a brand to help the community? Why? Because you need to be seen as a brand which is ethically, socially, morally responsible at the time of a crisis. This is very important. You can't be just thinking about making money all the time, especially at a time like COVID. So the brands were actually taking this initiative and also communicating that, okay, this is how we are reaching out to the society. Now, another example of how the brands were helping the society was this example of Parle G. तो ये वाला ad उन्होंने LinkedIn पे डाला था, where they were talking about that how they were planning to give 3 crores of Parle G packets to people over a period of 3 weeks. And कितना reactions और comments है आप इसमें देख सकते हो. More than almost 25,000 likes and reactions, basically about 1,700 comments. Okay, why? Because people, survey has shown, यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है, surveys have shown that especially the generation Z is a generation which believes in supporting the brands which are socially responsible brands. Okay, and this really counts. This actually improves your image in the public eye. And this is what is required during the time of crisis. You can't just think about profit. You need to think about the society as well. Okay, so that goes back to marketing and various things over there when we talk about the planet, people, and the process and all. But basically, it comes from there. But this is how the advertisers were using it at the time of COVID. Then we also talked about how are the brands providing critical information to people. Now, when I talk about providing critical information to people, critical information बहुत type की हो सकती है. For example, how to protect yourself during COVID. So if I take that as a critical information, we'll take up some more examples अभी जब endorsements की भी बात करेंगे इधर, वहाँ पे भी critical information आएगा. So Lysol India, Lysol क्या करता है? Surfaces को clean रखता है. अब लॉकडाउन था, लोग घरों के अंदर थे, सेलिब्रिटीज घर के अंदर थे. सो सेलिब्रिटीज ने अपने घरों से वीडियोस रिकॉर्ड करे. दे हैड सेंड इट टू Lysol. Lysol converted them into proper ads, and in the ads they were talking about use of Lysol to keep the surfaces clean and to protect yourself during coronavirus. And because celebrities are being used and celebrity endorsers have always had a high recall value for the brand, and also people listen to them more, people pay more attention to the ads which are endorsed by celebrities. So celebrities were used big time, and Lysol was running it as sponsored ads on various social media platforms. Now this is another type of critical information. Indigo, जब फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन के बाद जब फ्लाइट्स रिज्यूम हुई थी, तो इंडिगो का टर्मिनल चेंज क्या है, कहाँ से फ्लाइट जाएंगी, कहाँ पर आएंगी. सो बहुत शुरू में बहुत थोड़ा हॉच पॉच था. सो क्रिटिकल इंफॉर्मेशन वाज आल्सो इन्फॉर्मिंग द पीपल अबाउट द टर्मिनल चेंजेस व्हिच वर देयर. सो दैट कैन आल्सो बी टेकन एज काइंड ऑफ अ क्रिटिकल इंफॉर्मेशन दैट ब्रांड्स वर कम्युनिकेटिंग टू देयर कंज्यूमर्स, अगेन थ्रू देयर सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स. Now, ये तो ये 3 things हुई जो ओगिलवी ने बोला था कि ये 3 चीजें अपने कम्युनिकेशंस में करो. बट उसके अलावा जब हम कंटेंट डिजाइनिंग की बात करते हैं तो एक और चीज हमने देखी. वी वर एक्चुअली सीइंग वेरी सीरियस टाइम्स. COVID was not an easy time for a lot of us. So a lot of people said, okay, use some humor to relieve the stress. थोड़ा सा humor यूज करते हैं. तो ये अब हार्वेस्ट गोल्ड के आप ये जो 2 एड्स देख रहे हो, जो फर्स्ट वाला है, ये दोनों एड्स जो है वो शोले मूवी से इंस्पायर्ड है. ये गब्बर और ठाकुर दिख रहा है आपको, जो फर्स्ट वाला जो है जिसके अंदर लिखा हुआ है प्रैक्टिस सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग एंड अवॉइड शेकिंग हैंड्स. तो जब गब्बर ठाकुर को बोलता है ये हाथ हमको मत दे ठाकुर, विच मीन्स दैट अवॉइड शेकिंग ऑफ हैंड्स. जो सेकंड आपको इमेज दिख रही है यहाँ पे वो जय और वीरू है. ये दोस्ती हम दूर से निभाएंगे. Why? Because you're talking about practicing social distancing. So Harvest Gold was using some bit of humor also in the communications in order to relieve the stress. And the same strategy was also adopted by Zomato when they talked about, how work from home was very different from work from office. This is not just the only figure. They were talking about a lot of other things, that how people were wearing, the shirts with the shorts, and probably that was also the case. And, so some bit of humor was also being used in designing the content. Then again, when I talk about designing of the content, what the brands were doing was they were trying to make the content relatable and also empathetic to the consumers. For example, हर वक्त ऑनलाइन मीटिंग्स करके प्रोफेशनल्स का, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस करके बच्चों का, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस पढ़ा के टीचर्स का आईसाइट जो है बिग प्रॉब्लम हो गई. सो लेंसकार्ट ने क्या करा, दे एक्चुअली said that yes, we do understand your problem, and we are coming out with our Blu-ray or some technology, and we have this new glasses that will block that harm that is done to your eyes or your kids' eyes. So जब kids की eyes की बात आप करते हो, ये second ad में देखो, is online learning taking a toll on your kids' eye? Okay, so make it relatable and empathetic. लोग क्यों relate कर पा रहे हैं? क्योंकि सब लोग लैपटॉप्स पे ही क्लासेस अटेंड कर रहे हैं, बच्चे भी, प्रोफेशनल्स लैपटॉप पे ऑनलाइन मीटिंग्स कर रहे हैं, तो रिलेटेबल है. एम्पैथेटिक आपने कैसे बना दिया? You are saying that yes, we understand our problem, and now we are coming out with the zero power blue smartphone lenses that you can order online, and we will deliver it to your place. So you don't even need to go out anywhere. So content को relatable और empathetic बनाना जरूरी है. Again, one example of making the content relatable is when you're talking about something, okay, lockdown hai, you can't go to the salon, so wheat ka or ye jo Sara Ali Khan and Shraddha Kapoor, they are both endorsing the brand wheat. So you are talking about bringing the salon home. Now I want you to see these 4 arrows very carefully. पहला वाला ad जो है सारा अली खान का, वो उसने अपने सोशल मीडिया हैंडल पे डाला है. उसका इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट है, ठीक है. उसमें व्यूज देखो कितने मिले, 23.5 लाख व्यूज. अब दूसरा देखो, वीट इंडिया ने अपने वाले अकाउंट पे डाला है. वीट इंडिया कंपनी है, देखो क्या मिला नीचे, 515 लाइक्स. इससे क्या पता चलता है कि कंपनी के पेजेस को लोग इतना फॉलो नहीं करते, ब्रांड एम्बेसडर्स को फॉलो करते हैं. सो आपका अगर पोस्ट ब्रांड एम्बेसडर के इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट पे आएगा, सो यू विल गेट मोर व्यूज, मोर लाइक्स ओवर देयर. दीज आर आल्सो अ फ्यू लेसन्स इन डिजिटल एडवर्टाइजिंग. एंड वन मोर ऑफ दिस काइंड, मेक इट रिलेटेबल. करण जौहर जो लॉकडाउन में ही वाज मेकिंग वीडियो शोइंग दैट हिज हेयर हैड टर्न ग्रे. उसने एक एड में, एक वीडियो में दिखाया कि कैसे गोदरेज एक्सपर्ट क्रीम यूज करके उससे अपने बाल घर बैठे ही कलर कर लिए, एंड नाउ ही हैज अ न्यू लुक. ओके, सो यू अगेन मेकिंग इट रिलेटेबल बिकॉज पार्लर्स क्लोज्ड है, सैलून्स क्लोज्ड है, एंड यू आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ योरसेल्फ सिटिंग एट होम. सो दिस इज रिलेटेबल, पीपल कैन रिलेट टू इट. सो दिस इज अबाउट द कंटेंट डिजाइनिंग. अब हम आते हैं स्ट्रैटेजी पे, जो हमने पहले डिस्कस कर ली थी. जैसे हमने सेलिब्रिटी एंडोर्समेंट एंड इन्फ्लुएंसर एडवर्टाइजिंग बोला था, तो कोविड के टाइम पे क्या हुआ? कोविड के टाइम पे कुछ ब्रांड्स ने कैसे कैसे यूज करा है ये वाली स्ट्रैटेजीज को. डिटॉल ने क्या करा, कार्तिक आर्यन के साथ एक एड बनाया, बहुत ही पेपी सा एड था. मैं आपको दिखाती, लेकिन मुझे लगा कि ये सारा कंटेंट ही बहुत ज्यादा है. सो बेसिकली एड का पर्सपेक्टिव क्या था, डिटॉल का एड टिकटॉक पे रिलीज हुआ था, और ऑब्जेक्टिव था कि WHO ने जो गाइडलाइंस दी है कि हाथ कैसे धोने हैं, कार्तिक आर्यन ने बिल्कुल वैसे ही आपको धो के दिखाए थे हाथ. ओके, सो दैट इज क्रिटिकल इन्फॉर्मेशन दैट यू आर गिविंग इन अ फन वे. Because WHO directions के हिसाब से हैंड वॉश कैसे होना चाहिए, that you were teaching to people, and using a popular celebrity and which consumers wanted to see. तो लोग देखना चाहते थे कि कैसे बना है. और उस एड के बाद एक और एड आया डिटॉल का, हैंड वॉश चैलेंज जब उन्होंने रन किया, तो वेरी पॉपुलर सेलिब्रिटीज एंड इन्फ्लुएंसर्स अगेन दे टॉक्ड अबाउट हाउ 30 सेकेंड्स के लिए आपको ये ऐड करना है. तो 30 सेकेंड्स के लिए ये सारे जो आपको सेलिब्रिटीज दिख रहे हैं, ये पर्टिकुलर वे में डांस कर रहे थे और साथ साथ हैंड वॉश कर रहे थे और सेम स्टेप्स कर रहे थे, बिकॉज यू नीड टू वॉश योर हैंड्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर वे इफ यू नीड टू wash or get rid of the germs, and that was called the hand wash challenge. Similar something was done by Lifebuoy also. Celebrities plus influencers, and they called it as Lifebuoy Corona. Corona matlab आप Lifebuoy से हाथ साफ करो ना. Okay, so again on the same lines. Okay, ये मैं आपको बता चुकी हूँ. This is also a part of celebrity endorsement and influencer advertising as a strategy during COVID. This is another strategy during COVID. So when you're talking about use of influencers, we had seen Chef Ranveer, who was talking about cooking, certain things at home with his son. और उसके बाद जो दाग लग जाएंगे उसको आप सर्फ एक्सेल से धो दो. And then Sanjeev Kapoor, again a popular chef, was talking about neem wash, जो एक product है जो आपके fruits and vegetables से germs हटाने के काम आ सकता है. So this was all related to COVID. So a strategy which we generally use in digital advertising, how it was used during COVID. Okay, now another strategy was to tap the consumers through various digital platforms. I'll need another 3-4 slides to wind up. I just hope that's not a problem. Okay, so another strategy was to tap the people through various digital platforms. So digital advertising, जो digital platform का consumption है, वो grow हो गया during the COVID times. Why? Because people were sitting at home. OTT का viewership बहुत बढ़ गया. और लोग लगातार अपना फोन पे, अपना लैपटॉप्स पे, टीवी पे, मोबाइल एप्स पे वहां पे ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करने लगे. सो द एडवर्टाइजर्स ट्राइड कि हम अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म से लोगों तक पहुंचे. तो ये देखो, इंडिगो एयरलाइंस ने क्या करा, लिंक्डइन पे एक उन्होंने ऐड दिया. लिंक्डइन पे क्योंकि उनको लगा कि हम प्रोफेशनल्स तक पहुंच पाएंगे जो बिजनेस टूर्स करते हैं, जिनका बिजनेस ट्रिप्स बिल्कुल अब बंद हुए पड़े हैं. तो उनको क्या बोला, दैट वी स्टे पार्क्ड. That's what they said. Hashtag देखो, staying parked, staying safe. So we are staying parked right now. We are staying safe for now till the time we resume your business trips again. So they were running this on LinkedIn more because of the fact that they thought that the professionals could be reached over there, because business trips जो है बिल्कुल बंद हुए हैं. Though the same thing was applicable in case of consumers, but they decided that they want to run this thing on LinkedIn. अब ये देखो, OTT platforms का viewership बढ़ गया था. तो वो OTT प्लेटफॉर्म का एड जो है वो फेसबुक पे आने शुरू हो गए. ये मूवी आई थी भूत कुछ उसी टाइम पे, और उसी के साथ आपको यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है फ्री 30-day ट्रायल एंड वॉच मोर. तो फ्री 30-day ट्रायल, भैया मैं लॉकडाउन में घर पे बैठी हूँ और मुझे 30 डे का ट्रायल मिल रहा है Amazon प्राइम का. एनीबडी वुड वांट टू टेक इट. फ्री में टीवी देखेंगे, कुछ करने को है नहीं घर पे. सो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल एक्चुअली मूव्ड टू OTT platforms because of this, because some amazing offers were given by Amazon Prime, Netflix and all, and their viewership also grew, but they were tapped through different platforms like Facebook and from Instagram and all. So different platforms से आप लोगों को OTT platform पे ले आए यहाँ पे. And this one was on Facebook Messenger app, an ad for Unacademy. जो विराट कोहली और अनुष्का शर्मा भी बिग टाइम प्रमोट कर रहे थे ड्यूरिंग द कोविड. एंड अनअकैडमी ऑल्सो गेन्ड अ लॉट बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स and professionals also started doing a lot of e-learning courses. So e-learning platforms actually gained a lot. So they also wanted to reach out to people through various digital platforms. तो उन्होंने बहुत जगह पे एडवर्टाइजिंग करी, फेसबुक मैसेंजर पे भी करी, विराट कोहली ने अपने इंस्टाग्राम पे भी डाला, अनुष्का शर्मा ने अपने इंस्टाग्राम पे डाला, और बहुत सारे मोबाइल एप्स में भी बीच बीच में उनके एड्स आए, इन शॉर्ट्स में भी एड आया. तो यू वर ट्राइंग टू टैप द कंज्यूमर्स थ्रू वेरियस डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स. Okay. Also, you are trying to keep the consumers engaged through certain contests that you are running. So I won't discuss this thing in detail, but there were different brands. कुछ कॉन्टेस्ट वो रन कर रहे थे, क्योंकि अगर लोग उनका प्रोडक्ट नहीं भी खरीद रहे थे, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई एम नॉट बाइंग एपरल प्रोडक्ट्स बिकॉज मैं तो घर पे बैठी हूँ, 4 महीने लॉकडाउन है तो मैंने नए कपड़े नहीं खरीदे, बट ये एपरल ब्रांड क्या बोल रहा है, ये गेम मेरे साथ खेलो, अपनी किसी फ्रेंड का नाम टैग करो, और जब लॉकडाउन खुलेगा तो हम उस फ्रेंड के पास वो आप एक पर्टिकुलर ड्रेस पहुंचाएंगे. सो यू स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग सर्टेन गेम्स, सर्टेन क्विजेस विद योर ऑडियंस टू कीप देम एंगेज्ड, ताकि लोगों को आपका ब्रांड याद रहे. ये नहीं है कि भैया अभी मेरा सेल नहीं हो रहा है तो मैं गायब. We can't afford to do that when you are in the marketing field. So you have to keep your brand, the consumers engaged. And this is what a lot of brands were doing. For example, here Design Home was playing a design game, home decorating game. Then the second one was an apparel brand. They were also playing some quizzes and tagging, asking people to tag their friends. Make My Trip was also playing some games with people, because Make My Trip पे कोई भी trips book नहीं कर रहा था, flights book नहीं कर रहा था, hotel reservation नहीं कर रहा था. But they were very sure that they didn't want that people should forget the brand, and therefore they decided that they are going to keep their brands engaged. User generated content, ये मैं आपको बता चुकी हूँ. आशीर्वाद आटा, they were trying to, they actually were running a contest. लोगों से ही रेसिपी मंगा ली, फोटोज मंगा ली, उनका नेम फीचर कर दिया, लोग खुश हो गए, ब्रांड्स के साथ एंगेज हो गए, लोगों ने ये कंटेंट अपने कनेक्शंस के साथ शेयर करा, and Ashirwad Atta was actually on top of their mind recall because they were running the promotions for them. This is also user generated content. जब स्पाइस जेट ने क्या करा, जब फ्लाइट शुरू हुई आफ्टर द फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन, दे टुक कंज्यूमर फीडबैक कि लोग खुश हैं, दे आर फीलिंग सेफ, so that they can, and they actually put it on the social media platforms ताकि बाकी लोगों को भी थोड़ा सा एक ट्रस्ट आए that yes, this is safe and SpiceJet is taking all the precautions and we can now travel safely with the help of SpiceJet or other airlines also. They were also doing it. Then another strategy that we had talked of was about Shoppable Post. तो जो ब्रांड्स बिक रहे थे लॉकडाउन पे, ग्रोसरी जो बिक रही थी, उन लोगों ने शॉपेबल पोस्ट यूज करा. फॉर एग्जांपल फर्स्ट ग्रोफर्स का एड है, यहाँ पे आपको दिख रहा है शॉप नाउ का ऑप्शन नीचे. नेस्कैफे का एड है फेसबुक पे. शॉप नाउ पे जाओगे आप यहाँ पे तो आप फ्लिपकार्ट पे पहुंचोगे. इधर फ्लिपकार्ट पे आप नेस्कैफे को शॉप कर पाओगे ये प्रोडक्ट. एंड डिज्नी प्लस हॉटस्टार, ये भी क्योंकि ओटीटी प्लेटफॉर्म है, व्यूअरशिप बढ़ रही थी, तो यहाँ पे शॉप नाउ नहीं आएगा, यहाँ पे क्या आएगा, सब्सक्राइब है. ये शॉपेबल पोस्ट ही, बट यहाँ पे लिखा होता है सब्सक्राइब. तो जैसे ही मैं इस पे क्लिक करूंगी, आई विल बी एबल टू सब्सक्राइब टू दिस पर्टिकुलर चैनल. तो हमने क्या करा है, जो लोगों का एक सेल्स फनल के जो स्टेप्स होते हैं वो रिड्यूस कर दिए हैं. इमीडिएट ऑप्शन है, मुझे ये चाहिए, शॉप नाउ करा, खरीद लिया. मुझे डिज्नी प्लस हॉटस्टार का सब्सक्रिप्शन चाहिए, मैंने ये सब्सक्राइब बटन क्लिक करा और एकदम से मिल गया. एंड द लास्ट वन हियर इज the social media stories. So social media stories में brands क्या क्या डाल रहे थे? Netflix starts at 199. इस टाइप का प्रमोशन. Why? Because people have a lot of time. They are sitting indoors. Lockdown है. So Amazon Prime ने क्या करा? First 30 days free trial दे दिया. Netflix क्या कर रहा है? 199 से start हो रहा है. So you were giving such lucrative offers to people, and this was appearing as a part of social media stories which people were seeing and probably reacting also to it. सेकेंड देखो, स्विगी इंडिया ने क्या करा, अपनी सोशल मीडिया स्टोरी पे डाला दैट हाउ स्विगी इज चेकिंग देयर डिलीवरी एग्जीक्यूटिव्स फॉर द टेम्परेचर एंड ऑल टू एंश्योर कि आपके डिलीवरी एग्जीक्यूटिव्स दे आर फ्री फ्रॉम कोविड. एंड अनदर थिंग दैट स्विगी वाज पुटिंग एज अ पार्ट ऑफ सोशल मीडिया स्टोरी, जो थर्ड विंडो में दिख रहा है, इज अ यूजर जनरेटेड कंटेंट, जहां किसी यूजर ने बहुत ही पॉजिटिव रिव्यू डाला हुआ है, तो वो भी आप सोशल मीडिया स्टोरी में दिखा रहे हो, सो दैट पीपल हैव दैट ट्रस्ट फैक्टर बिल्डिंग अप फॉर स्विगी. स्पेशली दीज टू थिंग्स दैट दे वर शोइंग ऑन सोशल मीडिया, चेकिंग ऑफ डिलीवरी एग्जीक्यूटिव्स, पॉजिटिव रिव्यूज बाय पीपल डेफिनेटली गिव्स ट्रस्ट टू पीपल दैट यस दे कैन ट्रस्ट दिस ब्रांड. सो हम एक फाइनल टेक अवेज देख लेते हैं ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस discussion that we have done. As I said कि discussion बहुत है, और in fact if we talk about the traditional medium, तो वहाँ पे advertisements का designing पे भी बहुत different हुआ. For example WhatsApp का ad जो TV पे आ रहा था, और जो न्यूज़पेपर्स के अंदर एड्स थे, न्यूज़पेपर्स बंद हो गए, उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या हुआ, तो दैट इज अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. क्योंकि आज हम सिर्फ डिजिटल की बात कर रहे हैं, तो डिजिटल के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कुछ फाइनल टेक अवेज लेते हैं. सो डिजिटल इज डेफिनेटली विटनेसिंग अ पॉइंट ऑफ इन्फ्लेक्शन. जो एक पॉइंट ऑफ इन्फ्लेक्शन स्पेशली कोविड के टाइम पे आया, कि जितनी ग्रोथ हो रही थी कोविड के आते ही, वो जो स्टीप स्लोप है ग्रोथ का, वो बहुत ज्यादा स्टीप हो गया. तो एक पॉइंट ऑफ इन्फ्लेक्शन आ गया है जहां पे डिजिटल बहुत ही रैपिडली बढ़ रहा है. एंड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर इरा इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर एनी एडवर्टाइजर टू इग्नोर द डिजिटल मीडियम. So you have to, consider the digital medium, because especially given the fact that digital appetite is rising amongst the people, and they want the digital medium to serve them almost everything now. In fact, after COVID, now people have become used to, probably using the digital medium more. Amazon जो पहले नहीं भी यूज करता था, वो छोटी सी छोटी चीजें भी लोग Amazon से मंगा रहे हैं. जो पहले जिनको बिल्कुल आदत नहीं थी, वो भी यूज टू हो गए हैं. सो डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म जो है वो बहुत तरीके से चेंज हो गया है, एंड यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम इट. एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू डिजाइनिंग ऑफ एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स, डिजाइनिंग ऑफ द कंटेंट, you have to be very creative, you have to be relatable to people, the content needs to be interactive, it has to keep people connected to the brand in some way. And to become a digitally strong brand, the brand should have a strong presence on social media and other digital platforms. एक बहुत ही strong social media presence होना बहुत जरूरी है आज के डेट में. अब क्राइसिस सिचुएशन में क्या करना चाहिए? कुछ चीजें हमने देख ली हैं, but we'll just quickly conclude here that you should keep your customers, you have to keep your customers engaged. अगर आपका brand अभी नहीं बिक रहा है crisis situation में, you can't just take a back seat. You still have to keep reminding the consumer about your brand. चाहे उनके साथ games खेलो, quizzes खेलो, कुछ interactive content करो, उनके साथ कुछ contest run करके उनसे selfies मंगाओ, उनसे कुछ recipes मंगाओ, किसी भी तरह करके consumer के साथ connected रहो. Because this is the time when the consumers will remember, okay, this is the brand which took care of us, which connected with us during a crisis situation. तो अगर आज के रेट में मेक माई ट्रिप का नहीं भी कोई बुकिंग हो रहा है, पीपल हु वर कनेक्टेड विद द ब्रांड बाय प्लेइंग द गेम्स और डूइंग अदर थिंग्स विल रिमेंबर, ओके, दिस इज द ब्रांड विच स्टेड विद मी. So after the lockdown opens, people might then go back to the same brand and book their tickets from Make My Trip, because that's a brand that they remember was connected to them. And this crisis situation is the time when the brands have to be seen as socially, morally and ethically responsible. और वो पॉसिबल कैसे होगा? जब आप अपने कम्युनिकेशंस में वो चीजों को शो करोगे, आपकी चीजों में वो पोर्ट्रे होना चाहिए कि आप सोशली रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो. एडजस्टिंग टू द न्यू नॉर्मल, बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स ने क्या करा है, न्यू नॉर्मल पे एडजस्ट कर लिया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल BMW ने क्या करा है, they have started a contactless experience where your BMW car will be taken from home. It will be serviced. You can see on your tablet, on your phone or on the laptop through a camera that how it is being serviced. अगर आप ओके करोगे अपने घर बैठे बैठे, तो वहां से वो वापस कार जो है आपके घर में भेज देंगे. So you are sitting at home. There's a contactless experience that you're getting, contactless service that you're getting from BMW. And it was regarding this service that they also ran an ad on LinkedIn. Probably उनको लगा होगा कि LinkedIn पे जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं उनके पास ज्यादा BMW कार होने के चांसेस है. Probably that is the reason that they chose the platform. But yes, this is how the brands also started adjusting to the new normal. This is one more way in which they were showing that, okay, how we are adjusting to the new normal. So Zomato, this is one of the emails that I got in my email from Zomato during the COVID times. They were talking about that how they are ensuring the safety of the delivery person from head to toe. लेंसकार्ट में आपने एक कस्टमर का फीडबैक डाला दैट हाउ दिस कस्टमर वाज सैटिस्फाइड दैट उसने लेंसकार्ट का स्पेक्टिकल्स चूज करा यूजिंग द 3D. लेंसकार्ट का जो एक ऐप है उसके अंदर ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी फीचर होता है जिसके अंदर आप फेस स्कैन करके अपना स्पेक्टिकल को चूज कर सकते हो. सो इस कस्टमर ने वो चूज करा और लेंसकार्ट ने कॉन्टैक्टलेस डिलीवरी घर पे करा. सेफ्टी की बात हो रही है. और उबर ने भी कुछ ऐसे कैंपेन्स रन करे जहां उन्होंने दिखाया कि कैसे जो राइड्स हैं, उबर की राइड्स हैं, वो कैसे सेफ होंगी. सो व्हेन वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट एडजस्टिंग टू द न्यू नॉर्मल, अ लॉट ऑफ ब्रांड्स मेड इट अ पॉइंट दैट दे लेड एम्फेसिस ऑन द सेफ्टी which was being taken for the consumer. So I think that's some takeaways from today's presentation. Thank you to all of you for your patient listening. So as I said, that the ambit of digital advertising is very wide. We have just discussed a few things over here, which are the basics before we move on to any next level of the discussion. I hope there is some clarity that you got about the platforms, the use of platforms, the strategies, and how digital is definitely, getting you more benefits as a brand, and how you cannot afford to ignore digital in today's era. So that's all from my side. In case you want to write to me, that's my email ID. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is by the name of Professor Ruchi Gupta. So you can connect with me if you want to.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable knowledge and experience with us. I request everyone to fill up the feedback as well as survey form. Now, I would like to request Dr. Neetu Rana, ma'am, teacher coordinator for the event and faculty at Department of Commerce, to please extend a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Indra. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Professor Ruchi. I feel really honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of the entire fraternity of Department of Commerce, Aditi Mahavidyalaya, and on my own behalf, take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar on advertising in the digital era trends during COVID. At the outset, I thank our resource person for today's webinar, Professor Ruchi Gupta. We are really enlightened with your knowledge, immensely benefited by your inspiring lecture and your gracious presence. Your presentation about the digital marketing, digital advertising, and various social media platforms used these days for the marketing of the products and services was really very informative. How shopping has become so easy in the present digital world, how the brands are using the users to develop content for their advertising. All these things have really enhanced our existing knowledge about the digital marketing and advertising. I'm pretty sure that this precious knowledge that you gave us today will definitely help our students in their studies and in their future. I would also like to thank our principal ma'am, Professor Mamta Sharma, for her enthusiastic support. A special thanks to the organizing committee, teachers, and the students volunteer for their unflinching support and coordination. Our heartfelt thanks to our students for their active participation. With these warm words and a kind message, we move to the end of today's seminar. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Neetu. It's good to see you.
Same here, Professor Ruchi.
Thank you so much, Ruchi, for sharing a part of your knowledge out of your huge knowledge bank. So thank you so much, Ruchi.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. And my thanks again to the entire college, to the entire organizing team, to all the teacher coordinators, and to all the students for patient listening. Thank you so much.